Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii Real Estate Minute, and also with Real Broker. And I'm here with two special guests today here in East Hawaii. What's the story?
I'm Kealohanui Browning, also with Real and Team Nakanishi. And this is Boomer, and we are in his house here on Hawaiian Paradise, here in Hawaiian Paradise Park off of 4th and Maku'u. This road is extremely quiet. It's such a nice part of the neighborhood, and we're really close to the Maku'u point where you can go fishing and you can do Boomer's favorite place to go walking is down there. This home is a little over 1,600 square feet. It's 1,656, I think, and 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It is beautiful.
Okay, so isn't it fun to be on location, an actual listing that Nui's holding here in East Hawaii? So as we're giving you guys the update on going through the September and early October numbers for this area, Eric is going to be putting a little bit about what this house has to offer to you as well. It's a 2-for-1 video. So let's talk about what's happening with the housing market. Why don't you go ahead and talk about all the 3 different places that you're going to discuss.
Okay, so today I am going to give you an update on South Hilo, Puna, and Hawaiian Paradise Park. Hawaiian Paradise Park is located in Puna, but it is a humongous neighborhood. So a lot of people like to look in this area, and so that's why I'm going to give you specific information on this neighborhood alone, separately. And so first, I just want to start off by saying what the island-wide median home price is so that you can kind of have an idea of what things are, and then we'll move on to South Hilo. But median home price for the island right now is at $556,500, and so now we'll just jump to Hilo specifically, South Hilo. And South Hilo is generally considered from if you know where the zoo is, and if you're looking at a map, you can probably find the Panaeva Zoo. And so South Hilo is generally considered from about that area all the way to sort of near Akaka Falls. So if you look on the map, and you can find Akaka Falls pretty easily. It's just past there. So in that area, we have 95 active listings. There are currently 29 contingent, or what we call them contingent here, but you can call them pending or under contract listings. There are 29 right now, and last month, in the month of September, 23 sold. So if you are wondering kind of how many months of inventory, or whether it's a buyer's or seller's market, right now that's about 4.13 months of inventory in Hilo. So it's kind of like a balanced market and maybe leaning a little bit more towards a seller's market. The median price in Hilo for active listings right now is $715,000, and the median sales price for sold homes last month in September was $675,000. So when we talk about sales to price ratio, we're going to use the current price, meaning the last price that was listed on anywhere that you saw, Zillow or the MLS. So if there were price reductions, this accounts for the price reduction. But the current price ratio to sales ratio is 97.82. So you can expect maybe to negotiate about 2% off of whatever the current listing price is. Average days on market to sale in Hilo was 119 last month.
So that's that's still, the houses are sitting on the market. They're not flying off the market really quickly. But they're not also losing a lot of money either with the 97%. So,
No.
So buyers are still looking, sellers are still selling, and somewhere in between, houses are still going off the market. They're just not going quickly, and they're not going for a lot of money. They're just kind of in that moment right now, right?
Yeah, they are. I feel like I say this all the time, but it really, when you have something priced correctly,
it goes off quicker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so well-priced homes that are unique are probably, and I know that people are watching this, and they've been watching the market for a while, and I talked to some people, and they said, I have enough time to look. I don't have to rush. Therefore, I'm waiting for the thing that really makes my heart sing. Where I think people in 2021 and 2022 basically had to take whatever they could get. right? Because of
Yeah.
the way the market was going so fast. And so then you see people who have houses on the market for 100, but also people who say, you know what, there's a beautiful house, well located. And then what's the fastest house that you've seen fly off the market? Like a day, 2, 5?
Well, okay, so just the other day, there was a house here on 2nd, and that one was a really unique property because there was a humongous pond and everything, but it was a total renovation, like big time renovation. And like, I'm not even sure, a lot of things were not permitted. And anyway, I was shocked because I think that went under contract in 4 days. I actually had a client that was really interested in it, but they decided they didn't want to, there was multiple offers on it.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was in the mid 400s, or high 400s, mid to high 400s, which seems like a lot for HPP, a total reno, but it was just such a unique property that I think that's
So if someone was to renovate that, how much do you think it would go for once they put the renovations in?
Well, the thing is, it was pretty small, so it would depend what you actually, like if you enclose the downstairs area to create more living space, because I think it was only a little over 1,200 square feet.
Oh, that's a small house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think if you enclose the downstairs and added more square footage, the location would you'd probably end up high 7s.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so someone obviously saw the value in that.
Yeah, but it's such a gamble because it was very iffy about the conditions. So you could get into contracts. So my buyers just felt like they were at their limit for what they felt comfortable with without knowing what they were going to have to pour into it.
So everyone has a stomach for risk and for renovation. It's like when you start tearing into the walls, you're like, what are you going to find? But some people are coming over with, they have a background in construction, or they're local people who know all about construction and know how to basically turn a house and make a profit on it. So interesting. So those are the kinds of homes, maybe they're moving a little quicker.
Yeah, that was a shocking one to me.
Okay, so look at multiple offers still can occur when it's the right price for a house.
Yeah, and a unique kind of property.
Okay, so what's going on then with the rest of Puna?
Okay, so Puna, we have, as I mentioned, 369 active listings right now. There are 146 contingent or under contract and 62 sold last month. So the months of inventory, that puts it just around 6 months of inventory. So that's kind of like a balanced market, considered a balanced market right now in Puna area. And so Puna, there's Upper Puna and Lower Puna, and HPP is in Lower Puna. So Upper Puna goes to like Volcano area to the golf course, and then, just below the golf course, I guess. The golf course is actually considered Ka'u.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I believe it's Ka'u district. Anyway, but we will still consider it Puna. But
she'll still sell it.
Yeah. So that's Upper Puna, and then Lower Puna goes out to like Kalapana area. So you'll see those two areas on a map. And the median price for active listings right now in Puna area is $399,000, and the median sold price is $369,000 for September. And then when we're talking about how much you can get off the current list price, it's about 2% right now, 97.80. And average days on market is 91. Last month was 70.
So they're sitting a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then do you have, how's that compared to last year at this time? Are we in a slower market or a quicker market?
So last year, in this month, September, there were, I don't have the days on market for
that's okay.
last
like
month,
in general.
But we did have slightly less properties sold this year in September than last year, about 60 less
60?
sold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is getting slower a little bit as we head into the fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we want to go here.
Yay,
Now we're here to Hawaiian Paradise Park. You'll hear people, if you're here on island, you'll hear it referred to as HPP all the time, because who wants to say Hawaiian Paradise Park every time? Right now, there are 99 active listings. The median active list price in HPP is $569. And last month, it was exactly the same. So it's holding about that for the actives. Contingents, there are 35 right now, and 19 homes sold last month in the month of September. The median sales price was $479, and the ratio, how much you can negotiate, how much you could expect to, is about, again, 2%. So 97.68%. And did I say average days on market was 90?
No.
Okay.
90.
90 versus last month 59. So yeah, all the days on market are going up. And then the absorption rate for HPP is 5.2. So it's still like kind of a seller's market, but it's kind of shifting more towards a balanced market right now.
That means you can make deals, buyers. And sellers, you need to make deals, sellers. So
yeah, it is something where I feel like a lot of the buyers are hearing that it's a buyer's market, because in the mainland, it is shifting.
Yeah,
it has shifted where things are not selling. And so I think on the news, you're hearing all of that. And so buyers in their mind, oh, it's such a buyer's market, but it's not really there yet here, at least on east side of Hawaii.
Well, it's not really on west side of Hawaii either. I'll tell you guys, sellers are hanging on. They're hanging on to their price. They don't want to have to drop it. And so I think what I'm seeing, like in the markets that are really, having this, Austin, Tampa, those kinds of markets where prices are going down like, 15, 20%, because there's just so much inventory on the market. Where again, here in Hawaii, we're not, except here in HPP, you're building more houses than almost any place else.
Yeah.
But it just seems that we're not having that, fire sale on houses.
Like they're sitting.
They're sitting,
yeah.
but then the sellers are like, okay, let them sit. They're waiting for the right buyer.
No, it is. Our property in Kealohanui, it is a really, really unique property, and you can subdivide it if you want to. The guy down the street is subdividing a similar lot. And so one thing about that area is that sometimes you can get pushback on subdividing because it is such a local area where some folks don't really want that going on. But if you come at it with the right project or mindset about what you're going to do with the property, people would welcome it. It's just how you approach it. But there is subdivision potential there, and it's right on the ocean, except for there's a strip of state land in the front. So it actually helps with any type of building that you want to do, because you don't have to go through like an SMA major process, which is expensive and time consuming and all of that. So, but he just really believes that property is so special that he doesn't want to really drop his price. And I do understand where he's coming from. But also, it's been
a while.
Yeah, we've had it on the market a little while. Yeah.
And you guys, and again, I guess because I have some things for sale in West Hawaii. A lot of sellers will say, "Well, just bring me an offer. Bring me something that's reasonable," and they won't actually put the price of what they'll go down to on the MLS. And so, if you do find something, I think if you really think it's kind of a cool idea, why don't you just bring an offer in, right? And then you can negotiate from there. So just because you see it on the MLS doesn't mean that's the actual sticking price, that you can't ask a little bit. And then the 2% aspect of life, like you're probably right. Maybe 2% is the average, but maybe some are willing to take 6%.
Yeah.
And some people might say it's 100% or nothing. So it's that market. I think that people can have an opportunity if you really love something, and somebody's it's been on the market for over 100 days. There's probably some level of give and take there. Yeah.
And then your agent can talk to the other agent and kind of get an idea of what
motivation.
Yeah, what that seller is thinking. I mean, sometimes they won't really give it away, but I think it's helpful if they do communicate. So then you can come to an agreement if you actually are in communication with why
somebody wants to leave or not. And another thing too that I've been seeing in the market is that sellers have come on the market and they of course wanted what they wanted for the price, and then the market's gotten slower. So then they say, you know what? Well, I want to move it before Christmas. And so now's actually a really good time to actually jump into the market as people are trying to stay away from the holiday season.
Yeah, no, I actually had somebody yesterday send me another counter offer because she was like, I really want to get this off of my books before
the end of the year, right?
So here, I'm willing to go down a little bit more. So, yeah, that's really cool. There was something I was going to say about the sellers. We were talking earlier about the interest rate having a lot to do with this whole stuck.
It's
what
a
feels
stuck
like
market.
a stuck situation. Because a lot of people were, really excited when the Fed lowered the interest rates, but then they realized, it didn't really move the mortgage rates like we thought. And
in fact, I think we had a lot of people hanging through the summer waiting for that mortgage rate to really drop. And then what happened was the mortgage rate actually started dropping ahead of the Fed meeting. And then the Fed's rate dropped it by only 0.25%. And then it seemed like they kind of bubbled up again. And there was supposed to be, you can't promise anything, but we had heard somewhat of a promise from the Fed saying they might drop their interest rates 2 more times this year. Well, now we're already almost in November, like mid-October. And if people keep holding on and waiting, there's no guarantee that they're going to drop those interest rates unless they see the jobs reports, go down. So,
especially now that Trump is like back at his 100% tariff thing. So now a lot of people are worried about that. And,
right.
So I think the uncertainty and then the confusion of like, wait, I thought like if that, X equaled Y or whatever.
I think that those 2 words are this whole year, you guys. Uncertainty and confusion.
Yeah.
Right? It's when you're making a major purchase, I think that people are looking for that a little bit more like, what's going to happen in the future. But we were also talking about that there are people who are thinking about retiring, that they're getting older. They've already got their pension set up. They already had plans to move. And waiting only decreases the amount of time that you're going to be able to do what you want with your retirement. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, with inflation, there's always going to be inflation. And so just that in general, having an asset that is protected against inflation is a big benefit, I think.
Yeah, and and again, we've been talking about this for a few months, that with it being more of a balanced market, that there is room for negotiation. So this is a good opportunity. But at the end of the day, is if you are prepared to make the move to Hawaii or buy an investment piece of property, at least you can go in and start asking questions about the different properties you're looking at and talk to a realtor about making sure that they can know what the motivations of the sellers are. Because you might get actually a deal if somebody says, I have to, like a house that we had, sadly the gentleman's wife had passed away in the middle of, he had put it on the market for a certain price, and then his wife passed away, and he said, I need to get out. And so we dropped the price, because he wanted to get out. And so the person who came in got a pretty good deal. So you never know what can happen. So if it's something you think is beautiful, like this house.
I love this house.
I know it's beautiful.
I have a thing for tongue and groove ceilings. It just like,
yeah, he did a great
my
job.
Heart sing.
Yeah, and also you'll see this. We'll show you some pictures. But he killed himself in the backyard. He fenced almost an entire acre of land and then put in a hardscape, and it's really a beautiful house.
Yeah, there's all kinds of fruits and really cool flowers and trees back there.
Yeah.
So, one thing I did want to mention too is that another thing I'm seeing is that a lot of people that bought in 2023 now they're needing to sell, and so this is another reason why we're kind of stuck. I think.
Right. But they don't want to lose money.
Yes, and if you bought in 2023, a lot of people are ending up losing money if they're selling now. But as a general rule of thumb, I think it is important that if you are buying something, you probably want to hold on to it for at least 5 years anyway, just to really see that appreciation. And then, you got to think about the realtor costs.
Right, closing costs are expensive. Yeah, in fact, we have another friend that's selling here, and exactly, they bought it 2 years ago, and they wanted to sell to buy a bigger house in another part of the island. And their middle name, and this is why I know the sellers, we will not go below this. And you could sit there and say you're not going to go below this, but you also might not find a buyer in that price range. So that's when we're talking about who's going to blink first. Are the sellers going to sell houses that they bought a few years ago where they're already not going to take much equity with them, but then they have to get out? And so, but then buyers are still looking for those deals.
Yeah.
So this is the blink market right now is, just people saying, you know what, it's not fair. I bought this house and I actually have to lose money on it. And that hurts as a homeowner. And we're seeing in other places around the island too, where it just seems that after 2022, that seems 2022, early 2023 seems to be the top of the market. And so if you bought in that time frame, it's just a softer market. It's not a crashing market. It's just a softer market.
Yeah. So we put in an offer yesterday for a house in Volcano area. And so that's the situation with this seller, is that she bought it in 2023. And so our offer is in line with what she paid for it, but you know, she's giving them a credit and then paying commissions and stuff like that. So she's gonna lose money on it. So I had to explain to my buyers, if you really want this, the seller's agent has already communicated that she's kind of at the lowest that she can go, and here's why. And so I showed them the
cost.
Sales history.
I mean, that was good.
Yeah.
Because you know what, and I know that if you're watching this, you know you're doing this. Buyers have access to what a person originally paid for their house, and then they get a chance to see what the appreciation has been over the last few years, and then they really, I hear it, they just made $400,000 in 3 years. I don't feel like paying that amount of money. And then if sellers say in their own heads too, I made $400,000, I'm not going to lose $50,000. It's like, you haven't really lost $50,000 because you really haven't made it.
Yeah.
And then buyers get this like, the price of equity, I mean, the appreciation gain was so high. And again, here you go again, sellers and buyers. So
I always tell them, like, don't look at that, because that doesn't matter. You have to look at what the current market is doing. You can't look at what somebody else has in their pocket or doesn't have. Well, so in this case, that seller, if we don't, we're still negotiating this counter. If we can't come to an agreement and we walk away, that seller might have that listing on the market for some, I don't know how much longer. It's been on the market for 2 months already, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it would be great if we could come to some sort of agreement, because she's going to lose money, but I think it might be more painful if she continues to wait.
To hold it, yeah. In fact, that we tell people too what the holding cost is on homes. If you're paying your mortgage, if you're paying your taxes, if you're paying your landscape, or if you're paying for electricity, you're actually losing money every month that you hold on to a house that's not priced either correctly, or you're not making a deal with a buyer. So add that into your thought process when you're thinking about the average house. The average place, the time on the market right now in some of these neighborhoods is 100 days, right? So you're going to sit on your house for 3 months if you don't get it immediately priced correctly. So think about that.
Yeah. And 3 mortgage payments,
Yeah, right. And so in general, with your phone ringing, talking to the people in your team, hearing what's going on out there, what can you say about kind of like the market in general?
Phones are still ringing.
Okay.
We're putting in offers, but like it's going back and forth with, what you're just describing right now is like, well, I don't want to budge, and well, I don't want to budge. Well, I don't want to budge. So I've put it out quite a few offers, and
it's sitting.
It's been more difficult lately for people to come to an agreement because of the mindset of the two different sides, and just people's situations are kind of clashing, and so we're still getting a lot of activity, but it feels a little bit like you're trying to run but through mud.
There you go. It's a sludgy market.
Like a lot of calls, but like
Yeah. So okay, so get this. So we're gonna have a little future casting here. I think the Fed's supposed to meet, probably in early November or something. Do you think that, and what you're hearing out there in the world, do you think that he's still going to think about maybe lowering the interest rates so people should have an opportunity to maybe get a mortgage for a little less? Or do you think that this is it?
Well, so I think I'm hoping that they lower interest rates, but then the thing that we just discovered is that just by lowering interest rates, the Fed lowering interest rates
doesn't mean the mortgage companies are going to lower it. Even though, get this, because I've talked to a bunch of mortgage people, they want to make money too. So when they don't lower the rates and we don't sell the houses, therefore they're not making any money selling mortgages. So they're starting to get incentivized too to drop those rates, or also give you guys opportunities for different kinds of projects that you can get yourself into. But I think that having the tariffs is not helping because people are, but you know what? But the tariffs might mean a job loss report. And then they'll be forced to say we're heading into a recession and have to drop the rates. But that doesn't bode well for people who don't have jobs.
Yeah.
So that's why right now when Nui was talking about a balanced market, we're not heading into a deep recession. People are not losing their jobs all over the country. We're not seeing like a total economic collapse. The stock market is still doing very well. And so what we have is basically a balanced market.
Yeah. It just feels weird because we have had such like a...
I know, we had that fast one going. Everyone was buying a house really quickly. And now it's like people are just kind of, like you said, it's sludgy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sellers basically want top dollar and buyers want a deal.
Mm-hmm. But one thing that I have so I watch a lot of YouTube and I try to watch about the economy and the housing market and all of that. And a lot of the influencers that focus on investments in general, I've noticed kind of like a switch in how they're talking about the housing market because a few months ago, a lot of them were like, do not buy a house. Do not, that's the worst idea. And now it's kind of, they're still like saying, well, you might want to buy a house if X, Y, Z. And so I've been noticing that change a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, like a house our dollar is getting weaker. And so a house it provides utility while also preserving your dollar.
Exactly. Yeah. And then back in 2008, people were saying that your house is not your piggy bank. When people were dragging the equity out and spending and doing other things, at least that's not as prevalent. So having a house, the mortgage basically makes you, it's a kind of forced retirement and savings account. And the rates, it's 6.2 or whatever. It's balanced. It's not 18%. It's not 2, which I'm sorry, that day is over.
Yeah.
But they did say, that across the board, 6.5% is almost like exactly average of what the interest rates have been over the last 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, and I've been getting some people approved that are coming in to me approved under 6% lately. Like high fives.
Yeah? Hey!
Yeah. So
you can get in touch with her mortgage person.
Yeah.
Well, and they said if we can get a solid under 6%, not just a few people with great credit ratings, if we can get under 5.9, maybe 5.8, that people will be able to start moving the housing market a little bit faster because then buyers can come into the market a little bit more. We can move this inventory through. And so it
sellers won't feel so bummed that they are losing their 3% interest rate.
Yeah, I know. And that's what that'll start getting people to say it's time for me to move, and that'll start getting things moving. But just with the way the world is going, I just, it's as soon as somebody says, oh, that's what happened in 2000, remember 2025, stay alive till 2025 because you'll be in the 5s. It didn't. So, so if you have, we always go like this. If you have to move. If you have to buy. There's an opportunity for either way. You're getting a chance to move away from something that you are holding on to that you don't want any longer, and you're moving into something you want to do with the rest of your life.
One of my friends in New York, she posted this thing yesterday, and it was a quote from Charlie Munger, and it was like, the best time to buy a house is when you need a house.
Yeah.
So don't worry about all the rest of it. As long as you're not going to just turn around and sell it, I think.
Yes, that's the key here.
Yeah.
Is that if you're going to make a decision, make it a good one, right? And with that, I'm going to ask you a question. So some people who decide, East Hawai is a place that they want to live. In fact, I was just talking to somebody, and I'm like, I'm like this. Of course, you want to live in West Hawaii. You want the sunsets, and they go, no, it's too hot. They want to come because they want a garden, and they want to be able to be in a temperate environment, which is, okay, admittedly, West Hawaii is very hot. And they want to get, obviously, a lower housing price than you can almost anywhere else on the island. And next to right? Next to a city center like Hilo, right? Mm-hmm. So, give me why do you love to live here? Tell them give me a little pitch on what's going on here.
So Hilo has a lot of culture that I really appreciate. You will see it more on this side than on Kona's side because Kona has a lot of people from California and all of that. Nothing against you.
No, I know, we're transient. We got a lot of tourists transient.
But it was just, you can see how, the culture a lot more here. It's more prevalent.
That means aloha.
Well, one of my favorite things about Hilo is that we have so many good restaurants. So when you're a foodie like me, we have in my opinion, way better restaurants than in Kona, because I honestly don't know why, but they're...
I know why, because of food costs. And also it's a lot more expensive for commercial real estate on West Hawaii than it is for your side. So that's the reason why you guys get better food, because they're constantly having to chop, chop, chop over on our side. So I'll hail the food in Hilo.
We just like Moon and Turtle. That I believe the chef from Moon and Turtle came from Nobu. I mean, he's from here, but he worked at Nobu in New York. So like when you go there, it is top tier experience. And then we have Lehua at Imiloa, which they also have a sister restaurant at Maunalani. Oh my God, Napua. I almost had
really?
that
Those
moment.
two are together?
Yeah, they're the same moment.
Okay, and this is like Imaloa, like astrology center. Okay, because I hear him talking on the radio about how amazing he is. I think James Beard or something. And he's like, oh, at Imaloa. I'm like, oh, it's astronomy center.
Yeah.
So it's the restaurant in there. It has a really good restaurant.
Really good. I went there last night. And
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
Okay, I'll give that a shot.
So those are two really good ones.
And also Hilo Bay Cafe.
Yeah, Hilo Bay Cafe, and we have a really cool sushi restaurant that only has like 5 or 6 seats, and so you have to make reservations really far in advance.
Yeah.
That guy's from Japan actually, and so he ships all his fish in from Japan, and it is so good, and it's so sweet because he put this ume sauce or like paste inside of my sushi, and I just kept ordering this roll, and then he bought me some of that ume sauce or paste, and
so you can have it for home?
he gave it to my friend to give to me.
Oh, how
so
nice.
That's the kind of thing that
That's
happens
Aloha.
in Hilo. Yeah. And that makes me so appreciative of this place, because everyone, and then you go to people's houses and they're like, here, have these avocados. One day I went to 3 different houses and I ended up with like avocados, lemons, and then some other thing. And I remember just feeling like this would never happen in the mainland. So those kinds of things like really make me happy about being here.
Yeah. Life is kinder here. And then also, again, you guys have the temperate weather, and especially now more so than ever, because Kona has been getting rained on ever since January 5th. And so you guys have a little, I think I think we're having more rain than East Hawaii at this point.
You are.
So,
So
weird.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah. And then also the beautiful beach parks like Carl Smith Beach Park. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's a good place to be, I think. And there's, as I always say, there's a butt for every seat in this town. And if it's HPP, if it's Hilo, if it's Puna, all of it. Nui's your woman, so she's obviously a realtor, so she can help you with your real estate deals. We will be coming back to you guys in November. Hopefully he'll get some more information about the economic data that's happening, and we will see you guys. And then also Nui, I haven't asked you yet, we're gonna do it on camera. We do an island-wide update as well, and we usually do that at the end of the month. So she can do a quick update on some of these numbers at that point too, if you guys want to tune in. So join the 365 Ohana at 365hawaiire.com. And also you can reach Nui at, put the information below for her. And then that way you guys can know that you're being handled by an expert at local area. And we appreciate you guys watching this YouTube channel.
I have lots of videos on my Instagram of our listings.
Tell them what that is.
Kealohanui _808. So hopefully you'll put that in there, because my name is very hard to spell.
There you go. And also we'll drop information about this listing in the description as well, so you guys can see more about this beautiful home. And we guys will see you guys on the November update.
Aloha.
Aloha.